Alright, in this video we're going to do a paint test using the masking kit on the Strongback and the front deflector. What I've done is I've taken a piece of regular white styrene plastic, gone through all the same steps we did on the paint test for the hull, and got it prepped up for the Aztec. And what I've done here is I've just applied the paint colors that we need for these according to the Trek Modeler Guide. I've done the first steps. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to put my mask on there, and we'll start painting up the steps to see how things come up. Okay, we did our painting and we left our paint to dry for about 24 hours. Then we applied our masks on it, and we're going to start removing it like we've shown in our application videos. Now, masking over hull paint, if applied correctly, will not remove the paint. However, applying the mask right over some airbrushing that you've done, there is a chance that you might be pulling some of this up because the bond between your airbrushing and the hull paint isn't exactly perfect. So we've got two ways of preventing this for you guys. One is to leave this paint to dry for about a week. If you do that, you know you're going to get a good bond. But if you're like me, you can't wait that long. So I've come up with another idea, and that's using a hairdryer. So I'm going to show you what to do with that and how we can get this mask off without affecting the paint below. Just get yourself a hairdryer, and we're going to set this hairdryer on low heat, and we're just going to warm up the area a little bit just so that the mask will come off really easy. I'm going to show you that, but I want to explain it first because once I start the hairdryer you probably will not be able to hear me. So all I want to do is I just want to heat up a little area, a couple seconds. You'll see the mask will come off fairly easy. Now the mask, when it comes off the black after it's been heated up, is going to distort, so we can never use that mask again. But that doesn't matter in this application because what we're doing is we've just used this mask just to kind of align it, and then we're going to be removing it and getting rid of it anyway. So the other thing I want to suggest is anytime that you are doing mask on an airbrushed area, whether it be here or whether you're doing your Aztecing and you've done a gold piece and you want to place a mask over the gold to protect it while you do another color, I would still go to the hairdryer. It's not that big of a deal, but you know what, then you're not going to pull off. There's no chance of you pulling off that paint, and I'm going to show you, and we'll start on this side right here. So we'll start right in here. We'll try and get all this area out here. You'll see by just lifting the corner that the mask is starting to get a little soft. You can see how it's distorting really badly, but it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It's leaving all of our black behind. And then once it cools, it's going to get back to being rigid again, but it's now non-usable anywhere else because it's been stretched out of shape. But that's the way I found. There's no glue left behind. All your little black dots have been left behind. And then I've got no issues with lifting paint. I'm going to go ahead and continue removing all this. I'll remove some of the other stuff. I will get ready to shoot our next color. Okay, well, as you can see, using the hairdryer, everything come off nicely and none of the other paint was removed. So what we're going to do now is I'll mask off the rest of this stuff and I'll paint the next level, and we'll continue on from there. Okay, so I applied the other colors. I think we had an A color going on the Strongback, C colors going on these ones, and a C color here. This A one I still have to work on, but that's our second stage of paint. I'm going to let that dry hopefully overnight, and we'll continue on with the masking. Okay, I've got the mask laid out now over our second coat of paint. I'm going to have to admit to something. I'm like an impatient little child. I didn't wait the full day like I said I was going to do. I waited about 4 or 5 hours But what I did is I also did this one here. This paint was done 5 hours ago. I put this on, I didn't even use the hairdryer, I just peeled all the pieces off, and I had no paint removal. Although I'd still recommend using the hairdryer, but in any case, the mask's on. I'm going to paint the next stage, and we'll go from there. Alright, all of our masks have been put on. The last coats of paint have been put on. I'm going to start removing everything, see how everything looks. You're going to have to remember these 3 greens or 4 greens that are on these Strongback and Deflector are very, very subtle between each other, so you shouldn't see a lot of big difference between them. It should be very muted. But let's try it out and see how it goes here. I'm going to use the hairdryer on this one because we're kind of finished now, so I want to see how everything goes. Alright, well there you go. Pretty pleased with that. I think that looks way better than putting decals on your model. And just to see that that hand painted touch. Alright, so this is a paint test, and I'm going to try something we did on the hull. When you're painting this, you'll feel that you've got little ridges where the mask was. And just to knock those down a little bit, what I did on the hull is I used just a standard white eraser. So I'm going to give this a try on here. If I wreck this is no big deal, because this is the test. This isn't the final product. But I can see already it's knocking all those edges down. It's not affecting the paint at all. And that's a far better way than sanding it. That feels a lot better. Do the sides too. Just kind of cleans everything up. It makes it sit down, so when you put your clear or your whatever it be, gloss or satin, it's all going to look like a decal when you're done. You just tell everyone you did it by hand. And I guarantee you nobody's going to believe you. And like I said, this stuff we just painted 4 or 5 hours ago, so I don't have any worries about you guys pulling paint off. As long as you take your time. Take your time, use the hair dryer. It does help. It takes a little bit more time, but you know what? Then you're not re-sanding the kit down and redoing it. All right. Well, that's all we've got for now. Check us out on our Facebook page, Aztec Masking Kit by Mass Design. We've got a lot of people on there right now. We'll follow with some group builds, see how they're doing and what they're tackling, and continue on from then. Thanks for watching.